Hi guys, welcome to or back to my channel and welcome to another video from our Becoming Emirates Cabin Crew series. These videos are all about your preparation for your Emirates Airline interview, how to look, how to be presentable, how to behave, how to perfect your CV, which today's video is all about the CV. And I know this is a really important part of your application and of your, hiring process. It's one of the first things, if not the first thing, that you have to submit in order to actually be invited for the assessment day, interview day, whatever they call it these days, or before actually doing your online interview, for example. It is crucial for your CV to be looking really good and to stand out. Most people who are applying for this job are young people, and of course you're not gonna have hundreds of experiences and different, you study like different universities. Maybe you do, and that is awesome. But if you don't have much experience, if you just finished your high school, university, whatever, it doesn't really matter. You just need to know how to write what you already experienced in your life in your resume and write it really well, so it catches the eye of your recruiter or whoever person is going to be assessing your CV. So I have quite a few notes right over here, but I want to put a little disclaimer out here. I am not an expert in any way. I'm not a recruiter. I don't know what recruiters think. I'm just a girl who's done her research. I've researched many experts online, especially on YouTube. There are tons of people who know how to write a really good CV, and it is actually their job to help you to write a good CV, so I kind of trust their opinions. I am also a person who passed the interview for Emirates Airline for the first try, and I've passed many other job interviews successfully. So I hope I could give you some advice on what I feel like is a good looking CV. So let's just start. Quite honest with you guys, I don't really know where to start when it comes to the CV. There's just so much stuff and there's just so many questions. I think I'm gonna categorize it into design and then your information. I'm gonna probably stress about it a little bit too much because I'm a person who loves aesthetics, and when I look at a CV, I love to see like clean and elegant CV. And that's always something that I strive for. First of all, you need to write a CV, of course. So what I would recommend you to do is not to start writing your CV right away. I would actually take a piece of paper and I would write down all of your information that you're going to be putting into your CV later. So your personal details, your address, your education, your work experience, your skills, your certificates or courses that you did, your volunteering. So I would just have a piece of paper and I would actually write everything down, the month, the year that you worked somewhere, or the year that you finished your university or high school, whatever. So you don't have to go back and forth every time you want to work on your CV, because that can be quite exhausting. So having those dates available is really nice. Finding your help online. There are so many resources, you guys. There's YouTube, there are different platforms that you can actually use for your CV, like a template. So it works in a way that you just type in all the details in the server, in the website, and they actually give you your CV, which is already good to go. You can choose from different designs, different themes or whatever. So if you are not a person who likes the creative process of really spending time on the details on your CV, I would highly recommend one of those websites. That can be really useful. Also, I found a really amazing woman on YouTube who has her whole YouTube channel dedicated to your resume, interview, CVs and cover letters, all that kind of stuff. And she is brilliant. I actually got a lot of tips just from her, so I'm gonna link her channel down below so you can also check it out. Another really good tip is to set up your LinkedIn profile if you still haven't done so. Hello! If you're looking for a career, LinkedIn is the place to be. And it also gives you really nice and structured layout of your work experience and your skills and all that kind of stuff. Of course, alongside your CV, you have a cover letter, which is very debatable these days if you need a cover letter or not. So with Emirates Airline, I remember I did write a cover letter, but I'm not sure if they're asking it today. And because this video might stay on this platform for another 10 years, I don't want to say any specifics, because in 5 or 10 years, things can actually change and you might not need a cover letter, or maybe you might need 2 cover letters, who knows? I don't know. I would just maybe have one prepared just in case, because you just never know. And it's also a good practice to write a good cover letter. I think writing a good cover letter is actually much harder than writing a CV. When it comes to the design, I always choose that first. So when I know what kind of design I want to go for, then I know how I'm going to write a CV, in which part I'm going to have what, you know, if I'm going to have education on top or work experience or whatever, you know, left and right. So just choose your design, and I would choose something very clean, very sleek and elegant, nothing crazy, nothing bold. You're not applying for an art company, you're not applying for like social media marketing company, you're applying for an airline. And I want to say, even if your CV looks a bit boring, that's kind of good. That's a good sign. You don't want to go overboard. So yeah, once you chose your design, then you can actually just copy paste everything you have on, you know, that piece of paper into your design, and you can kind of play around with it. I wouldn't go for more than like 2 colors and 1 font. You can definitely play around with the font size, or if you want it in all caps, all capital letters, or just like, you know, normal text. But you don't want to be playing around with like 2 different fonts. It can be a little bit overwhelming, I feel like. But who knows, maybe you're really good and you can actually kind of make it work. For me, I always stick to 1 font just to be safe and sure, and then I just play around with the size of the text. Another quite important aspect of the CV is a photo, of course. And many of you are asking me this: shall I add a picture to my resume or shall I not? Well, it depends, you guys. I added a picture on my resume, and I think it's very debatable if to have a picture there or not to have a picture. But I kind of imagine being the recruiter. I'm the recruiter and I'm sitting in the room where there's like 200 people, let's say, and everyone brings me a resume. I think I would like to have a picture there, just so I can be like, oh yeah, it's this girl, oh, it's this girl. You know, now we live in a world where if you apply for a job, you don't really have to have your picture there, because that can lead to like some racist discrimination issues. You get me? Like, someone's not gonna hire you because you're a woman, or someone's not gonna hire you because you're black or white, or you know, whatever. But to be quite honest with you, applying for Emirates Airline is your image and your face is very important, and they want to hire you so you can actually be the face of the airline. So I think adding the picture on your resume is a good idea. If you don't want to do it, if you don't feel comfortable, I think it's totally fine, because then later on you still have to submit your pictures that are professionally taken and also some casual pictures. In my opinion, it's a good idea to have the picture on your resume. Another question that is asked a lot is whether to have 1-page or 2-page CV. These days, you guys, recruiters, they don't have time to look at your CV. I think I read it somewhere, they take like 30 seconds to just like scan your CV, and they know if you're a good candidate or you're not. If they only take 30 seconds to look at your CV, how the heck would they have a look at the second page? I don't know. And just to be clear with you guys, I also used 2 pages in the past, and it's funny because in the past I didn't have that much work experience as I have now. And now my resume is only 1 page. I'm gonna show you the design of the resume I'm using right now. It took me a while to actually get here to this point, and I really like the look of the resume. If I put myself in the shoes of the recruiter, I would definitely go for 1 page for your resume, if you can. Of course, if you have like 50 different job experiences, you know, and all that kind of stuff you want to put in there, then go for 2 pages. But that brings me into another point of this video, and this is very important. Even though you had 5, 6, 7 more jobs, or you were volunteering somewhere, or I don't know, that doesn't mean you have to put it all in your resume, you guys. Be very careful what you put in your resume. If you have a lot of work experience from the past and it's not gonna fit in 1 page, try to shrink it. You don't have to list everything from your past. It's a complete nonsense because the recruiter doesn't really care. They only care about the experiences that are somehow relatable to cabin crew job. So try to stick to that theme. Try to stick to a customer service vibe, you know, experiences that you had, and don't try listing all the experiences that you had in the past. Trust me, I've done that. No one really cares about your experience. That is absolutely not related to the job that you're applying for. What do we have next? Examples of resumes. Yes, I'm gonna put some examples over on the screen or somewhere so you can actually check them out. Maybe I'm gonna leave some links down below so you can go and have a proper look on how the resume could look like. If you're gonna write about your past experiences, for example, you worked in a hotel as a receptionist, you're gonna, of course, put the time that you worked for that hotel, like from to. Of course, you need to list the job title, but underneath, I wouldn't actually say, oh, I was using this and this software, I used to, you know, like greet customers and blah 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 blah. You actually want to list something that you achieved in your job, something that you learned, and something that you know, how you contributed to the employer. What did you do? Something extra or something they actually benefited from. So I think that's something that can really make your resume stand out. Because if you're gonna write a hotel receptionist, everyone knows what a hotel receptionist does. Everyone on earth knows. Or, you know, a server in a restaurant. Of course, we all know what a server does. But what we don't know is what you achieved. That would be absolutely amazing to have in your resume. And it's not that easy to have for all your jobs. But I think it's something that can really make your resume stand out. This is the golden rule, you guys. If you go onto the Emirates website and you will check what are they asking for, if you have to be flexible, if you have to be hardworking, if you have to be, I don't know, accountable, and you have to have really good time management, copy all those words somewhere and use them in your resume. This is what you want to do. If they're looking for someone really flexible, you want to put in your resume that you are flexible or something in that sense. You want to be the person that they're looking for. And you can only do it by adding whatever they're asking on the website in your resume. Of course, if they're looking for someone, I don't know, physically fit, and you know that you're not physically fit, well then of course you're not going to put it on your resume. You can, if you go and you start running every day and you actually start working on yourself and you know that you can actually, you know, make a change in like a month, then put it on your resume. But if you know that this is not you, then I wouldn't take it too far. Like, be truthful, be honest, but do what you can, you know? You will probably see a lot of these words when you do your research about how to write a resume. Hardworking, passionate, a team player. Of course, if you think about the Emirates cabin crew, you want to be passionate, hardworking, and you want to be a team player. But guess what? Another 200 people are going to have exactly these words in their resume. So try to maybe come up with something a little bit innovative, something a little bit different, something that's not gonna sound the same as all the other resumes. Now, when it comes to the grammar and checking your spelling, I've been using Grammarly for a very long time, and it saved my butt a couple of times. Let me tell you. If you don't know what Grammarly is, it's like an extension for Google Chrome. You can pay for it, but you can also get the free version, which the free version is completely fine. And if you have some mistake or error in spelling, or just the sentence doesn't really make sense, it's gonna tell you exactly how you should write it, and it's amazing. So definitely use Grammarly, and definitely ask your friend for feedback. Show your resume to your, maybe not your parents. If your parents are young and they're quite, you know, young-spirited, maybe show it to them. But those parents who are maybe more like old school and they haven't been applying for jobs for the past 30 years, maybe that's not really relevant. No offense, but you guys know what I mean. So try to get a feedback from your friend, from someone from work who you can trust, and someone who you know is actually really good at writing resumes. So just reach out. Or I mean, you can also pay for these services online, but hey, I mean, if you have a good friend, I think it's better not to waste that money, right? You've got your CV, and at the interview, I'm not really sure how it works these days. For example, with an online interview, there's going to be like a machine probably that's going to be asking you questions and you need to answer, which is a topic for another video. But if you happen to go for the assessment day or the actual interview, you have very little time to drop your CV off to the recruiter and tell them something about yourself in like 1 minute. I think it was, I mean, definitely less than 2 minutes. So I would highly recommend to you to do your research, you know, while you're going to be making your CV, perfecting your CV, if you already wrote one. Try to think of something that is different than, oh, I love to travel. Or, you know, oh, it's my dream job. Of course, you can say that is your dream job. I think I also said that in my interview. But maybe try mentioning something about, you know, that you really like to work with people with different nationalities. Try saying something like you really love to work in like dynamic, positive, young environment. I think there are also tons of resources online or on YouTube, so you can try to do a little research about that. And you know, you guys, probably you're going to be nervous in that moment, so you end up saying whatever. But you know, if you have that in the back of your mind and you really try to focus, maybe you're gonna say something a little bit different and you can actually stand out. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Really lovely to speak about CV and resume, and I hope you got some inspiration from this. I wish you all the best luck in writing your resume, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!